What's good, YouTube? It is your boy, Big Cool, coming to you from Colossal Sports TV in association with 3kingsboxing.com. And I'm here with my partner in crime, Cheetah Head. Speak to the people, fam.
What's going on? I'm back for another good one with this good boxing info.
Hell yeah, man. And shit, right before we was preparing for the show, we got some breaking news. And we're gonna go right back into it, man. And to get this breaking news, go to 3kingsboxing.com exclusively. Shout out to Corey Cunningham. He broke this story for 3kingsboxing.com. So shout out to him. But look, man, they are saying that, Dillian Whyte tested positive for two banned substances. But Eddie Hearn came out and refuted their report, stating that both fighters were tested extensively, and pretty much that shit, everything was a go. And let me make sure I pull up the article so I get everything clear, so everybody out there listening can get a proper understanding. All right, this is what he said to Eddie Hearn tweet. Further to reports, I can confirm that both Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas were subject to extensive VADA and UK or UCAD testing for their bout. Both fighters were cleared to fight by both bodies and the BBB so obviously the body of the UCAD is the one that's in question as of now. That's what we know right now, because they have, been telling people, that, hey, Dillian Whyte tested positive for a substance we don't know at the moment, before the fight this past weekend. And this is a huge fight for him. The WBC interim title is on the line. And more importantly, that mandatory spot was on the line, which he did come out victorious. So what's your thoughts on this, Cheetah Head?
This is crazy, man. It's funny, man. My initial thought is Eddie Hearn and them boys are cursed, man. Like anything they touch is just turned into shit. But that's crazy. I mean, it's crazy because obviously this dude has been running around literally for 2 solid years chasing Deontay Wilder, saying that everybody's been unfair to him, and then you finally get this last hurdle to hop, and then technically you hop over that hurdle, and then they like, oh, not so fast, man, you on that juice. I don't know, man. I'm on, like you said, this is all late breaking news. But while this is also a speculation at this point, people keep pointing their finger at Anthony Joshua, saying that he's got all these therapeutic use of exemptions. And then they fought over there, didn't they? They fought in the UK. Am I correct or not?
Yeah, they fought in the UK.
Yeah, and so and just how thirsty. I mean, obviously, if you fighting in Wichita, Kansas, if you fight in your backyard, that's an advantage. But you know how thirsty Eddie Hearn is to take it back to the UK. Like, this is an all-around bad look, man. And it's almost like, it's almost like rape accusation, and the fact that, even if they get proof, even if it said nothing happened, people are still going to be looking at them kind of crazy. And so anyway, all around, I think this is kind of like a bad look, man. It's just a real bad look. And the timing, the timing couldn't have been worse if somebody wrote it this way.
And it's funny that you say that, bro, because that is the truth. No matter if you exonerated or not, motherfuckers gonna be thinking, well, shit, they did say you was found innocent, but it is a possibility that you got some of that raping or that juicing in you know what I'm saying, in you. And Dillian Whyte, man, has been a guy that has been very vocal, not necessarily on the issue of performance enhancing drugs, but just been very vocal in general. And for this to come out, even if it's just, you know what I'm saying, a fuck up or flub, it is a bad look. You know what I'm saying? We here at 3Kings, boxing.com are normally very accurate, you know what I'm saying, when we put out information. So where there's smoke, there's fire. We all know that old saying. And I mean, this not a good look, man, because it seemed like Deontay Wilder is the curse curse one. You know what I'm saying? Because you remember a few years ago, it was Alexander Povetkin, or we call him Petvekin. And then who else was it that tested positive? The other guy. And then they brought in Gerald Washington. So it's like these motherfuckers really be juicing it. Then with Luis Ortiz, even though it wasn't nothing major, it kind of is, because you know what I'm saying, he is a guy that has tested positive for steroids back when he defeated.
So he's the one that tested positive.
Yeah, he tested positive. Well, he didn't test positive for steroids with Wilder, but it was against after that fight with Latif Coyote. You know what I'm saying?
No, I want to say he tested twice because I want to say that Luis Ortiz and Wilder were supposed to fight, and then he was supposed to fight, and then they said that he was using something, and so then they canceled the fight. But then that's why Wilder kept saying, "I'm gonna bless you twice. You know, I'm gonna give you this blessing again or whatever."
Yeah. Hold on. What up, Denise? Man, appreciate you. Tuning in, hitting that like button. But yeah, he tested positive for a banned diuretic. He got
blood pressure or something like that. That's why he got out of it. But he got tested for some shit that it shouldn't have been in his system.
And that's why, like I was going back to a few years ago when he fought Latif Coyote, he tested positive for a steroid. You know what I'm saying? He had dusted that motherfucker. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, fuck it, I was on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you attach to that WBC or you in line to fight Wilder, it's like, bruh, I mean, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you really want to fight this motherfucker?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In the air.
Yeah, it's all up in there, because all up in that UK air. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a crazy situation. But it'll be interesting to see what comes of this, because, I mean, if he indeed tested positive for any banned substance and, they feel like the levels are higher or whatever, he can kiss that WBC interim title goodbye. He can kiss that mandatory and he got to be the dumbest motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, ever. Donkey of the day type shit, bro. Like, I mean, you go through the ring of Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora twice in that 10 fight span. You fought Oscar Rivas. You know what I'm saying? You fought all these guys, Lucas Brown, all that, and then potentially you give it up because you wanted to juice.
Yeah, that's a bad look, man. And then like they said in the article, I agree that the way if this just came out and they were able to fight and nobody had said nothing, I would still be 100% on the fence. Yeah. But the only reason I'm kind of leaning toward in my heart that I'm feeling like he did juice is because, like they said in the article, that old tricky used cars salesman way of the way the Eddie Hearn was talking, like, well, they were both tested and they were both allowed to fight. So yeah, next topic. And it's like, nah, man. And it really sounds like, I don't know, that the way he said that just sounds fishy. Because, like, again, if somebody accused you of juicing, and you didn't do it and you had proof, would you not say, listen, they said I did this, but I didn't, and here, and the results will be out soon? Or you be like, you know what, they said I was juicing, but I was really at McDonald's, so I couldn't have been juicing if I was at McDonald's, right? Like, what? I don't know what to do with what we talking about.
That's my thing. It's like, if you accuse me of anything, no matter big or small, and I didn't do it, bro, I'm vehemently coming out denying it. I didn't do 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 it, motherfucker. I didn't do it. I'm suing each and every motherfucker that, you know what I'm saying, that put that shit out there for defamation of character. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm taking it, to him. But I mean, I don't know. Dillian Whyte ain't said nothing. Obviously, promoters, his manager, people then probably told him to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? And let more facts come in before they jump the gun. It's one thing for Eddie Hearn to do it, even though if it comes out to be true that he did indeed test positive, you know what I'm saying, he gonna look like a fucking duck. Like, dude, you just refuted that shit. Because people over here in America already don't have as much respect for Eddie Hearn anyway. You know what I'm saying? Man. And for you to jump out in front of this, I understand you want to deny and get ahead of this, but you got to say, look, we have been informed of, something, with Dillian Whyte's, drug testing results and everything. So we are aware of the situation. Until we have 100% confirmation either way, we won't be commenting publicly on the matter until everything is concluded. You know what I'm saying? But instead, he said, "I'd like to further refute that both fighters." And like you said, that was one of those intelligent legal terms to kind of, you know what I'm saying, sway one person one way, another person the other way. You know what I'm saying? Depends on your intellectual level and how you think and look at shit. If you are, you know what I'm saying, if you're one of those pessimistic type people that always, think it's something else, then you would have been picked up on it like my man Cheetahhead did. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to be one dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like Smokey told Craig, you got to be a dumb motherfucker to get fired on your off day. Like, if you tested positive, bro, like, bro, you worse than Terrell Big Baby Miller, dog.
And I do say he didn't work all of this way. He been complaining for almost 2 years. So the point, he's been complaining so long, people are almost looking at him like a crybaby.
Yeah.
And then, you done basically made yourself a headache to the WBC. And now you done gave you potentially, like we gotta wait, but you done potentially gave these people, they had a gun, but it was empty. Now you done gave them a loaded gun and you looking like an asshole to them. So that ain't no good position, man. That ain't no good position at all.
I mean, it's not because like Tyson Fury, it got to the point, like you said, he was getting on the WBC nerves, but it came to the point where Tyson Fury's like, man, he felt bad for like, give a man his shot, man. Give him his shot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, oh, give him his shot, which they did do him wrong, but it's like, bro, you still got to remain disciplined. You got to remain focused, and you got to remain clean and dedicated. And know that, I mean, bro, I don't know if this come out like that, then it mean like he just knew that Rivas was dirtier was tougher than what he expected, or he was scared to lose the motherfucking fight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's interesting to me though. Did they say what he got bit with?
Nope, not yet. Nah, I didn't see that.
Because I'm curious, because I remember with Billy Joe Saunders, I remember one of his big excuses is like what I'm using is cool over here in the UK. But this seems to be the exact opposite, where Vada's whatever he got nabbed with, Vada's like whatever, or it seems to be like they're like whatever, but that UCAT is like, nah, we don't do this over here. And so I'm just curious to see what he got caught for.
Yeah, me too, because I mean it looked like maybe his he do seem to have stamina issues. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that was some shit that what the hell? Who's the heavy? Was it Jarrell Miller or somebody with the stamina? Damn, was it him or? I know it was a fighter that took some shit to help the stamina and all that. So I mean, who knows, man? I just know that this is a damn situation where, like you said, even if he's found innocent, people gonna still wonder because it's like both, testing agencies are not on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Vada currently, as for what we know right now, and things can change, we got to preface our statements with saying that, Vada isn't reporting anything irregular, in his drug testing and blood levels and whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's UCAD that is. So that tell you somebody that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They tell you if UCAD can score and catch it and Vada can't. Somebody fucked up one way.
No, but that's that. Well, I didn't even think about it like that. But you know what? I don't know enough about the UCAD. I just have supreme faith in Vada, and so that's why I just assume that whatever the UCAD people saw, Vada saw it. It's just not a violation over here or to Vada. Whereas UCAD might have a different list of bad substances.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then you got caught cheating in your own backyard. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That makes it even worse. Like that makes it even worse. Or maybe they thought they could get it off because it was their own backyard. Like I don't know, man. We need more details. And it's also supremely fucked up that it seemed like most everybody that saw this fight. It seems to be a common consensus that everybody's saying this is like one of the best versions of Dillian Whyte that we've seen. Yeah, and so And so he's been kind of riding high off of that, and then to go into that, and then you don't even make it a full week, and it is like, hey, yo, man, we got Nino Brown, man. It's the dope master over here. Like that ain't good, man.
It ain't because, like I said, this is the best he'd ever boxed. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Yeah, that's what
You
everybody
know,
keeps saying.
and shit, the motherfucker just said, you know, well, you know, and just said, you know, I'm a juice or whatever. But like I said, it's gonna be very, very, very interesting to see if both agencies get on the same page and why, you know, and what he tests for. Because obviously, if Vada didn't pick it up, like you said, it'd probably be good over here, but ain't good over in the UK. And if it was something that maybe they could have swept under the rug, but couldn't have because the levels was too hot, then I mean, I just can't wait to hear this shit, man, because it's out there now. So it's over here in America and everywhere else. So now we looking for a motherfucker to cover some shit up so we can get in your ass, no homo. You know what I'm saying? So Eddie Hearn, it just puts a spotlight on Anthony Joshua and all the fighters and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get with the unfortunate death, and we're gonna talk about my man Maximum. What's his last name? Man, I don't want to mispronounce it.
Dadashev, I believe.
Yeah, Maximum Dadashev, with his untimely, unfortunate death. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that next before we get into the other stuff, man. Because I want to, you know, give him his moment. But with his death and the sport of boxing being already dangerous and tough as it is, for you to put something in your body, whether it give you extra strength, extra endurance, speed, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think you really should face a stiff you know, punishment, man. At least a year or two out of the sport, because like I said, man, we're gonna go ahead and transition to the unfortunate death of Maximum Dadashev, who died at the age of 28 this past, what was it, Monday? Yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the fight live, but I was watching the fight live on Friday night. And he started off good, man, but the guy, I can't think his name. He a Puerto Rican, 14-0, 14 knockouts now. It just kept coming and coming, you know.
I don't know what his first name. It was something Mateus.
Yeah. And he was just ripping him with vicious body shots. Then it started to go from the body to the head. And the 11th round, after the 10th round, or after the 11th round, Buddy McGirt was like, Max, I gotta, you know, I gotta stop the fight. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stop the fight. And you can kind of tell something was wrong with him, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't really, you know how normally, you know, it's a tough fight, you getting your ass beat, but you know what I'm saying, fighters not really hurt like that, you know what I'm saying? They like, no, man, I got it. One more round, you know, this is the last round, I could do it. He was just saying it like this. I know you can't see me, but just like a day, you know how you just got there either hot or disoriented. Yeah. And he just like, and he it looked like he was about to fall out right in there. And you know, Buddy McGirt had to say something to his people. He's like, man, look, you got to be honest with him. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell him he ain't doing good. You know, he really getting beat up, and man, it really breaks my heart because that's unfortunate, man. He had a wife and kid that he was trying to get over here to the United States from Russia, and now they got to live the rest of their life, man, without their father, without their husband. What's your thoughts on the whole situation, and is there anything we could do? Do you think now this should give, you know, trainers a quicker trigger to pull, you know, to throw in a fight, even though it might cost their fighter a title, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, help them live to see another day?
You know, man, like you said, I watched it live, and then, man, I've been talking about this fight since Friday, even before it turned super tragic. Like I said, I've been talking about this fight since I watched it live. Because it was a good fight, and like I agree with you, he started off good, and then the Mateus cat, he really started coming on, and then you know Dadashev, in my books, he was clearly going to lose that fight. But check this out. It's funny because I mean I like my action fights, I like my blood, I like my gore, I like my knockouts like everybody, but in my opinion, you know, when people are starting to get their asses really handed to them, and it's like, man, you ain't gonna be able to turn this around, and you really getting scuffed up. I usually be one of the quicker ones in the room to be like, you know, they need to go ahead and stop this fight. But the thing with this fight is for me, there really was no like clear indication, or it wasn't no clear moment or no clear round where it was just like, that this fight needs to be stopped. Now, and beyond that, in my what was standing out to me the most was like he was getting his guts ate up. Like them body shots he was taking was what I was looking at more. And then as he started slowing down, I was more attributing it to the body shots that he was taking. And in fact, when Buddy McGirt was like, man, let me stop the fight, I was just really yelling on my TV, like, come on, man. I'm like, there's only one more round. Like, man, let that man finish. And really, I took like that day shit. One, I thought he was tired and, kind of beat up a little bit. But I really took it like he ain't really know how to respond to his trainer. Like, I'm tired. I don't really need to be dealing with this shit going into the final round, blah, blah, blah. But then, so obviously, Buddy McGirt stopped it, and then that shit went downhill quick. But to answer your question, out of this fight in particular, like hell no, because in terms of is there any like new advice to give coaches? Because I'm giving Buddy McGirt like that Professor X, otherworldly jungle eyes credit, because like
he can stop fights.
Yeah, so he was like, nah, man, we stopping this fight. And like I give him a lot of credit, because it ain't no worse than dead. But if he had went out for the 12th round, then he potentially might have like died in the ring.
Yeah, he would have. I think he would have.
And so that's all. And I mean, like I say, dead is dead. You don't want the homie dead now or 20 minutes later. But like dead on TV is like
boxing ban, bro.
Man, yeah, I was just about to say that's the difference. Dead in the hospital and dead on TV is the difference between this just being a topic and Congress and this is too much and blah blah blah. And that to me that would be tragic from a very selfish standpoint, because like I really believe that we're already into a shift right now, but I think it's going to like blossom much more. But I really believe boxing, in terms of casual fans and just boxing become just one of the sports that is regularly talked about with like baseball, football, and basketball. I think we're really close to that. And so to have some like big super tragedy and they're calling us the gargoyle sport and all of that stuff, like that would be horrible. But no, like based off of this fight in particular, hell no, I don't see any place where that dude was just getting beat up so bad that they should have stopped it. Now I thought he was clearly losing, but I didn't think that man was getting beat to death before our eyes. Like I didn't think that.
See, I didn't think he was getting beat to death before I was like, they need to stop it just because, you know what I'm saying? He really wanted, I mean, because he had started, he was trying to, box on the back foot, but it was like he was effective early, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like he was giving as good as he was taking. But then he was like, shit, motherfucker started getting hit. I was like, yeah, you stop the fight, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like overly doing it, but I'm thinking to myself, hey, he started taking sustained ass whooping. It's probably just, around 9 or 10 would have been cool. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you'd have stopped it probably around 9 or 10, he'd still be alive and he'd still be at a box. You know what I'm saying? It's not Buddy McGirt's fault. It's not what I'm saying whatsoever. But I'm saying, I'm talking about for people that may be listening. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
but I mean, it's just like, it's one of those, it's hard, man, because you never know. And it ain't got nothing to do, like, particularly with boxing. Life happens. Look at Paul Williams. You know what I'm saying? He got paralyzed. So you stop a fight too early, you never know what happened in a fighter's life on the outside of the ring. You know what I'm saying? So that could be his one and only chance to become a champion, fight for a title, you know what I'm saying? Blase. Something like a Paul Williams incident happened. He paralyzed. He might resent you for that just because, nothing comes out to be wrong with him. But you looking at it like, look, I had to stop Arturo Gotti getting his ass whooped. I had to stop Maxim Dadashev. You know what I'm saying? Didn't he stop Chico? No, did he stop Chico? Was he Chico's trainer when he fought Floyd?
Yeah, he stopped. I think he stopped Chico.
No, I'm saying one. He did one.
Was that his coach? I'm not sure who his coach was.
But he got the history of stopping fights. So I mean, like I said, it's just unfortunate, just because I mean, Dadashev, he was a quality fighter, man. And even if you think he wasn't gonna be a world champion, he still had a family that he was fighting for. He was trying to, you know, provide a better life, and for it to be cut down short like this is sad. But he fought until he can't. He couldn't fight anymore, and I mean, he showed that fighter's mentality even with the fight out of his control. You know what I'm saying? With the whole his situation in the hospital. So
You know what else was crazy to me about that fight? And this ain't necessarily a boxing thing; it's just a human body thing. But it's amazing to me what like adrenaline will do for you. Because this, like I say, this man in hindsight, he literally was getting beat up. Brain was all under all kind of trauma. But when he was still jacked up, like, man, let's go, man. I'm still in this fight. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to not go out there. When that was still his mind state, he was still going. But then once they was like, no, it's over, and then he was just sitting there, and then that adrenaline started coming down, and then, like I say, just that fool couldn't walk. That fool couldn't even walk 5 minutes later, where he was just boxing. And like I said, he was losing the second half of the fight bad. But that's not to say he still wasn't hitting the other dude. Like, he was still coming back and fighting. He just wasn't winning. Yeah. But once all that adrenaline turned off, like, the party was over.
Yeah, it was like, because we didn't all had a bad prime match. You played basketball, football, but you did something, you know what I'm saying, as a youth coming up. And we didn't have them hard-ass practices or games where it didn't took everything physically. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there, bit. If you're in high school, you're on the bus, man, riding back, you're like, man, I sleep in this motherfucker right here. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Park that bitch. I don't want to get up and move. I ain't trying to do shit. You cramp, you severely dehydrated, you cramping, you sore, you hungry, but you ain't got no energy to do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when you finally get up, man, it's like, God, it take everything out of you just to get up to goddamn take your cleats off or your basketball shorts off, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is a tough sport, man. And even the most well-conditioned athletes, it taking blows to the head and to the body is no fun. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, we here at 3kingsboxing.com. I'd like to again extend our, deepest condolences and sympathies to the family of Maxima Dadashev, who passed away again at age 28, succumbing to injuries he sustained in his fight this past Friday. So, rest in peace, champ.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah. It's funny because I'm married and divorced, but I was like 27, 28 when I got married, and so I just think about that. We didn't have a kid together, but she had a kid. So, I was a stepdaddy for a brief time. But it was just weird to hear that. And it's just like, damn, like, because he got this basically, I don't think he was married, but.
He was married with a kid.
Oh, he was married with a kid. That's what I thought. Yeah. And so I knew it was a lady involved, though, with a kid. But it's just weird to, think back. And it's just like, here, and I know what that's like. Like, you doing your thing. You're not no baby, but you a baby adult, just for lack of better words. I mean, you're really getting out there, really, really doing it. And then, but it's like a beautiful time. And then to have that just cut short and 36 minutes or less, man, that's crazy, man.
And I'm not a father yet, but that's one of my biggest fears, man, is not being able to hear. And I'm pretty sure you can attest to that, not being here to see your children at least get 18, you know what I'm saying, 18 to 21. That's the biggest fear of mine when I become one, you know what I'm saying? But, that we don't have no control over that. The man upstairs, does, and, But, yeah, man, this is another lesson. Respect boxers, man. Watch what you say negative to them. I'm talking about they bums and this and that and the third, because it takes a special type of human being to lace up gloves and go get hit, for 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rounds and not quit. You know what I'm saying? So,
and then, I'll say one last thing on that, because you made me think about something, and that's 1,000% true. And it's just funny because they a lot of people crack on modern boxers because they only fight 2 or 3 times a year or whatever. But I mean, a lot of things have changed in the sport to make that even possible. But it's just like when you look at like these extreme situations, and then you look at what they really are putting on the line. And again, at the end of the day, these ain't soldiers. These people ain't like fighting the drug addicts out of our community. Like, we turn this on at the end of the workday for fun. Like, we watch this stuff for fun. And so these people are putting their life on the line, and so it really does make you like rethink. Like, people will be cracking like, man, you holding out for like an extra million, another 2 million, like, man, just fight. But it's like, but if this man don't go home, or if this man go home to his kids a vegetable, like, that 1 more million, that 1 more 2 million might have been the difference in everything in his family. And so it's just like, you can't really, well, you can do whatever you want, but it's not prudent to, just be dogging these guys, for wanting, some extra skrill. And so,
hey, Treat, keep it going. I gotta go do something real quick. I'll be right back. Just keep talking about it.
All right. But we just gotta respect these fighters out here, because it's a deadly game, and we get hype off the punches that make us go ooh and ah, or the punches where people fall down and they all wobbly and looking like they've been drinking Hennessy on an empty stomach. But we don't know which punch that they maintained a poker face with, but broke their hand or fractured a rib or something like that, or they can't breathe. Or I was talking to a fighter recently, and he said he got his retina, detached, and then his one eye went blind in the middle of the fight. And when some of these boxers have, that supreme poker face, we don't even recognize that. And so a lot of these cats be living hell on earth in that ring. And so, if they want a little paycheck, they should be able to get a paycheck. But that was definitely one brutal fight, man. And definitely all the respect and condolences go out to his family, his friends, his team, all of that. And even like Buddy McGirt, because that cat, he at the end of the ESPN program, people were looking at him like a lightweight hero. And I'm not trying to take any stripes off his shoulder or off his chest, but it's just like he got to be feeling horrible as well too.
Yep, man. But we're gonna go ahead and move to the next subject. Yeah. Try to lighten up the mood a little bit. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Here we go.
Manny Pacquiao, or Pacquiao, depending on which part of the world you're on and how you pronounce your shit. They went back and forth, and fucking shit that they did not type themselves. You know what I'm saying? Well, Floyd, for me to be irrelevant, you showed up in my fight, and you watched me. Well, first of all, Manny, I'm your boss, and that's what bosses do. Come watch their employees. I'm sick of all this shit. Shut the fuck up, both of y'all motherfuckers. Look, nobody want to see two 40-year-old men who gave us a shit fight when they were 36,
man,
and whatever else the age it was in 2015. Look, man, just keep it moving. It's fun. It's fun and all that, but ain't nobody checking for y'all. Manny Pacquiao, you don't need to fight Floyd Mayweather again. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to. Now, I think Manny would probably have a better chance. People might crucify me for this, but Floyd didn't look the best. I mean, of course, he carried Conor McGregor, but let's be real. Floyd still didn't look, you know what I'm saying, like Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Pacquiao doesn't look bad. You know what I'm saying?
No, it doesn't.
Whether you contribute that to him being aging gracefully or the juice, neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? We don't have proof of either. You know what I'm saying? Or the latter part.
Or both.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's more proof that he's just aged gracefully, because he's not tested, positive for anything to our knowledge. But, I mean, you would be going backwards if you decide to rematch Floyd Mayweather. I'm not interested in that. And I see these so-called boxing pundits talking about, yeah, I'm down for Pacquiao Mayweather too. It might give us a better fight entertainment wise since both men are older. Floyd gonna be Floyd to the day he die.
Yeah.
Outside the ring, inside the ring. You think that motherfucker gonna really still get lit up in the last fight of his career and take a L after going 50-0? You think he really wanna, you know what I'm saying? Was he 50 or 51-0? Because I know he broke
50, I believe.
50 because Marciano is 40. He was 49-0. But my thing is like, dude, y'all cats really think that he about to be out here doing all that extra shit just to look, man? He love money as much as anybody, but boxing is not to be played with, especially if you're not motivated, not dedicated, and not focused. And you being long in the tooth now, man, this dude enjoying his life on yachts, traveling, doing shit that, makes him happy. Whether I agree with it or not, it makes Floyd Mayweather Jr. happy. So if he like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? And for Manny Pacquiao, I understand you want to get that get back. Understand you want to, even the score. You know what I'm saying? And make money, make more money in the process, because we know Floyd Mayweather is a walking check, walking bank. You know what I'm saying? You fight him, you're gonna make the highest, pay you never made in your entire career. But you gotta learn to let shit be. You lost fair and square. You outboxed. Yes, you hurt him in the third round, but other than that, it was easy selling for Floyd Mayweather Jr. He was able to neutralize you, neutralize your footwork, neutralize your hand speed, neutralize everything, and he showed that he's the superior fighter. But that doesn't take anything away from from Manny Pacquiao. He an all-time great. He has a chance to fight the winner, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, or he can fight a Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, or whoever it may be. Make some good money in the process, and then eventually call it a day. What's your whole thoughts on this back and forth social media war words between the two all-time greats?
Man, like you said, man, don't nobody want to see that garbage. Even when I was watching the fight on fight night and I saw Floyd in an audience, I started groaning, because I'm like, just because he's here, they gonna start this shit up again. Whether it was Manny and Floyd themselves, like literally, let's assume they wrote those tweets, which they didn't. But let's say they did, even if it wasn't them directly who started it, like the media and all of these people who just like bringing that fight up, like it was going to be a thing. I knew that as soon as I saw him. But then once they started actually going back and forth with each other, like, god damn. Like you say, when we saw it 5 years ago, it was 5 years too late. And then, like you say, it wasn't a great fight. And nobody wants to see that. Like and also, like you say, one of the last cosigns, like you say, Floyd did not look the best the last time he was out there, and Manny has been hella active, and so all of that stuff plays a role. And then besides that, like you say, if Manny and Floyd got in there again, they are not going to do nothing exciting. It's not going to be no real edge of your seat action. It's definitely not going to be like Thurman Pacquiao.
Oh no.
And then if I got a choice between seeing Manny come back next year and fighting Floyd, or fighting like Terrence Crawford, or fighting the winner of Sean Porter and Errol Spence, hell the fuck no, I don't want to see them fight Floyd. And then plus, just like they were saying about Thurman, even for Pacquiao's legacy, at this point in the game, for me, I will rate high. If he beat a 40-something-year-old Floyd now, I will rate that under, him beating a prime Spence, or him beating a prime Terrence Crawford.
Hell yeah. Easy.
And so, like, hell no, I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to hear about that fight. And so, let alone see it, let alone pay for it. Like, no, or all the weeks and the months of people talking about that bullshit. No, I do not want to see it. And it ain't going to live up to the hype again. And so, no, I don't want to see that fight.
Shout out to EJ Boxing Live. He commented earlier. He was saying sad that this happened, talking about the maximum Dadashev, tragic loss. We definitely agree. And then MG Tal stopped something he said the B sample isn't in yet. That is true. That is true. Nobody knows what he popped for either. Yeah, we said that also. You know what I'm saying? We definitely not crucifying him.
No.
But trust and believe. Sunday when we reconvene, if it's come out that he tested positive or the B sample, we going in. I'm getting some material ready just in case, because it's gonna be on like popcorn, man. But we pretty much said what we had to say on that Floyd Mayweather situation, bro. It ain't really too much to say. We talk about it just because it's possible. And, you know, Manny Pacquiao really doesn't want to fight Spence or Porter. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? You're 40 years old. That's almost a guaranteed ass whooping. You know, I would prefer to see him fight if he's not gonna fight, you know, the winner of Spence and Porter. I love to see him fight Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? And then call it a day. And then call it a day, or maybe fight, you know, Porter or Spence down the line. But I think he got a 2-fight minimum left in him. You know what I'm saying? That's how I view it. Either Garcia or Spence Porter. You know what I'm saying? And but no Floyd Mayweather rematch. No, Floyd need to stay retired. Manny need to join him in 1 or 2 more fights. But if he keep looking good, you know, Manny gonna keep fighting. So we shall see, man. But we about to go ahead and move on to more relevant shit, man. The WBO has ordered Oscar Valdez, their WBO featherweight champion, to defend his title against the unbeaten 2016 silver medalist Shakur Stevenson. But before we can even talk about a potential matchup, man, Steven Espinoza, the manager of Oscar Valdez, has already came out and killed the thought of that fight. He said, nope, not. This little motherfucker ain't about to beat my fighter. You know what I'm saying? He already built in that excuse, which probably is valid. Valdez is having issues making 126. Only way he'll stay down there at 126 is for a unification bout against IBF featherweight champion Josh Warrington or former multi-weight champion Carl Frampton, which I don't understand that one. I understand, but I don't understand, because if anything, I'm going to stay down there to try to unify, you know, the titles, at least a few titles, and then I'll move up. I'm not staying there for a Carl Frampton that, you know, could beat me or give me my whatever. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I said I'm struggling to make weight. That's the last thing you want to do, is to give a motherfucker an easy layup. You know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on this, man? I think it would be a good fight if it was to happen. Stevenson is getting confident. He called out Valdez and Warrington. We know WBO is really the home of top-ranked boxing. Pretty much all their fighters or people that got a good working relationship with Bob Arum and Top Rank have a WBO, title or opportunity coming their way. So what's your thoughts on the WBO ordering Valdez and Stevenson, and who would you favor to win that fight if it went down?
You know what? That's it's a bold move, but you know, I'm not mad at it, because you know, Shakur Stevenson, man, in my opinion, he has everything except like devastating power. And I think he got powder puffs, but like I don't think he really got. I don't think he ever gonna really be no like just crunch and puncher like that. But outside of that, I think he's shown pretty much everything. The only thing, like I said, aside from that, and in my opinion, I've already made my mind up on that, in his power. But we haven't seen him like in a war, and I don't think we really seen his chin really checked. And so that is still something we need to see. But I mean, that just comes with fighting anyway. But aside from that, you know, I really think he has the goods. I really think he's on, you know, the top tier level. And so I'm not mad at him going like this Lomachenko, let me dare to be great, you know, pretty damn early in my career route. And so I'm not mad at the fight at all. I'll be excited to see that fight. But and you know what? I go with the young gun, man, because like I really like. Again, I'm a big mental guy when it comes to boxing. And one thing that has really impressed me about Shakur Stevenson, besides his obvious, you know, boxing skill, is just like his patience and his poise in the ring. and he seems mature well beyond his years, just in terms of that, just in terms of the way he paces fights, and he might, like the average young fighter, if he hits you and you kind of hurt, they're gonna jump all over you and be going crazy. But it's just like he has shown like elite, veteran poise and pacing in that ring. And so that combined with his skill set, that combined with the team that's behind him, no, I got supreme faith in Shakur Stevenson.
But would you favor him over Valdez, who at one point when he defeated Gradovich, Avengi, I think his name Evgeny Gradovich, to take that title, you know what I'm saying? He was tabbed as the next featherweight thing, you know what I'm saying? And then he kind of regressed in some performances subsequent after he won that title, and then he suffered the broken jaw in a great fight with Scott Quigg. I think this will be a good fight, you know what I'm saying? I think that Valdez will have an excellent chance of winning. You know what I'm saying?
If nothing else, but all them experiences, like you say, experiences is you can't take experience away, man. Especially if the fight goes to a dark place, and you've been there before and they haven't. Like that's I ain't in no way saying it's like a landslide. Yeah. And in fact, I think it's an uphill battle for Shakur Stevenson, because it will be a lot of firsts and new experiences. But no, I would still roll with the young gun, especially like you say. After showing some regressions, you show that you can regress, or under certain situations that you have the potential to regress. And obviously he ain't gonna go in there with a broke jaw, but it's almost like Kell Brook, where once you're damaged, it ain't never gonna be as strong as it was. And then that's going to be something in your mind as well, where, I always think about this as a different sport, but it's an extreme circumstance. But like Derrick Rose, because after his knees started getting messed up, that dude wasn't never the same again. And I don't necessarily think it was all physical, but some of it was mental, where he didn't want to, do some of that explosive stuff again. And so once you got to go to the hospital, and some doctor or some professional got to tie your shit back together. You got to go sit on the couch while your bones heal. Like you don't forget that stuff.
Hell no, because you always playing it back in your mind, and you see like, damn, if I jump this way, I land, and blase, and it happened. If I get hit right here, I got to keep my mouth all the way closed, real tight, at all times. I can suffer another broken jaw. But it'll be interesting to see. I don't think this fight will get made. And to another point that neither one of us, mentioned. Like I mentioned it, but not in terms of it being beneficial to Stevenson. If he was say they were to go through with the fight, they already admitted that Valdez is struggling to make the weight. So if he's struggling to make the weight against Stevenson gonna wax that ass, and that power gonna look devastating then, because he'll be having a very weakened, Oscar Valdez. So, I think it is a smart play for Valdez and Espinoza. If it ain't a unification bout, I guess Carl Frampton will be much more, justifiable, because he is a champion over 2 or 3 weight classes, and his name holds much more weight than Shakur Stevenson, and it is worth the risk because he's gonna get paid significantly better against him, even though he's not a champion, and he will get paid to defend his title against his mandatory and Shakur Stevenson. So we're gonna see what happens with that. ThreeKingsBoxing.com is gonna stay on top of everything. We kind of moving through this show, man. Hell, we like to get this shit, started and done, because I know we got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? But we about to talk about Canelo Alvarez, Sergey Dervevychenko, supposedly are engaged in serious negotiations and are nearing a deal. If you don't know, Dervevychenko is the IBF mandatory to Canelo Alvarez, who defeated Daniel Jacobs on May 4th to unify his WBC, WBA middleweight titles with Daniel Jacobs' IBF title. So That is a fight that is in the works. Dervevychenko is 13-1. I believe he has 11 knockouts. He's an excellent fighter. Good body puncher. If you don't know him, go watch his fights with Terry Johnson. He really whooped that ass. He stopped him, I think, in the 12th round. Johnson is normally a durable guy. Been stopped once previously by Curtis Stevenson, one of the biggest punchers, in the sport at the time when he was fighting. So I think this is a good matchup. I really do think it's a good matchup. I think that this is a dangerous fight for Canelo, especially considering that there's rumors going around that his knee could be iffy. You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, he got like 50-plus fights. Even at the age of 28, he's been fighting a lot. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those fights went the distance. So it could be some wear and tear on that body. You know what I'm saying? And, Dervevychenko could be getting him at the right time. So what's your thoughts on this fight, man? Do you give Dervevychenko an excellent chance, more than 20, 30% chance of, not only making this fight competitive, but pulling off an upset?
I think he has an excellent chance of making the fight competitive. I think he has a shitty chance of actually winning because I don't know. Well, in terms of these two names, Canelo and Sergey Dervevychenko, it's not a terrible matchup. I'm not saying that at all, but I think it's a terrible matchup given all the people that Canelo could be fighting. And all of these other names that they floated around themselves, and then all of that stuff blow away in the wind, and you just pop up with this name. From that aspect, I think it's garbage. But in terms now, if you take all of that history off or whatever, all of those other circumstances off the table, it's not a bad fight. But I really think that Canelo would outclass him on the inside, and so I do think that Dervevychenko would. I think it would be a good fight. I think it would be an entertaining fight. But I think that Canelo will walk away with a clear, no controversy, don't need no Adelaide Bird or nothing type victory. I think he would win solidly, fair and square. But I do think it'd be an entertaining fight.
And to your point, this is not it's a bad fight in terms of the fights that were out there. Sergey Kovalev, Gennady Golovkin, Demetrius Andrade, those are fights. Callum Smith. Those 4 fights would have been way better than a fight with Dervevychenko. And by saying that, that's not saying that those fighters are necessarily better than Dervevychenko. It's just saying that they got more intrigue behind them. They're champions. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like Callum Smith is the man at 168 right now. Mm-hmm. Kovalev is the WBO light heavyweight champion. Demetrius Andrade is the WBO middleweight champion. A win over him would make Canelo Alvarez the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And who else I mentioned? Gennady Golovkin, the former middleweight champion of the world. Those two guys produced 2 excellent fights. So to my man Cheetah Head's point, this is why it's a good fight in general. And, any other time, year or months or whatever, this would be an excellent fight. Excellent fight between a former title challenger who has 1 loss and against arguably a top 3, top 5 pound for pound guy in Canelo Alvarez. But right now, considering what was out there, Andre calling for that fight, hell, even Bivol called for that fight. Callum Smith called for it, Kovalev, Gennady Golovkin. I mean, it was plenty of guys that he could have fought that were better and more relevant to the sport and to his legacy than fighting his mandatory and Sergey Dervevychenko.
Yeah, man, and agree. Just totally agree. And you supposed, obviously he is, but you're supposed to be this cash cow who's hooked up with the money banks of all money banks, the zone, and y'all lowballing people and all of this stuff. Like, man, it's just a bad look. Like, had none of those names, or had he never said nothing about Kovalev, if he had just fought Danny Jacobs and it said, hey, man, my knee feeling funky, I'm gonna get 1 more fight in before surgery or something like that, or I just want to take a lighter touch or whatever. But if he had fought Jacobs and then just came out with Dervevychenko, then fine. then it still would have been conversations of it's these other champions out here who's been calling your name loud and clear for a while, but all right, we'll deal with that next fight. But to do this whole phony game of musical chairs and we're gonna see who we gonna fight, and you make this big weeks-long production of it, and then all of that just crumble, and then this name just comes up out of nowhere, and y'all are deep in discussions like that. That to me is just a bad look, man. That's just a bad look.
I agree, man. Well, we finna close out the show with 2 predictions, man. We're gonna give a little bit of insight because we are some knowledgeable cats, so we don't just want to say, such and such gonna win. We want to, give the best analysis possible. So we're gonna swap out the order. We're gonna talk about the great value card, in my opinion. This weekend we got Gervonta. I don't want to fight nobody that's on my level or better. Davis taking on. What's my man name?
Nunez.
Yeah, Nunez gonna have his ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? He gonna need a new ass after Tank get done with him. Pause. What's your assessment, man? Give a quick breakdown. Keys to victory that you feel for Nunez to be successful, because obviously Davis really don't need no keys of victory because he's the overwhelming favorite and better fighter.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. That's like
you feel an upset You feel an upset in there or something?
No, hell no.
Oh, okay.
You trying to get me to figure out how a gremlin gonna beat sunlight? Like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like I think I really don't think dude is really on his level. And so I make it an ugly fight. I don't know. I'm gonna have to break down to just generic, nonsensical talk. But it's like make it ugly, crowd him on the inside. But like I don't see what this dude's gonna do to beat him. I don't really think he's on his level. And nah, man, I'm with everybody else on this one. I think Tank Davis pretty much gonna rough this boy up.
This is how this is gonna play out like this. Hey man, when I reference Friday a lot, but that's my favorite movie, comedy movie of all time. It's like Red going to act, not the Red is in Three Kings. No, not him. He another light skinned nigga, but it's not him. It remind me of Red, DJ Pooh. I'm younger, but I know my shit. You know what I'm saying? DJ Pooh.
Grandma's chain.
yeah. Nigga, this ain't no Destiny Child. I'm just saying your name. You know what I'm saying? For the wash and shit. But no, DJ Pooh, aka Red, going down to Debo house with his daddy and say, "Hey, what up, Debo?" You know what I'm saying? I wonder if I could, get my bike back. What bike back? The beach cruiser, the one I let you borrow a couple weeks ago. Oh damn, I ain't know you wanted that back. And it's like Ricardo Nunez is like he just asking to hold the belt. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, look, I got me a fine ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? I told her I was a champion and shit. You know what I'm saying? I boxed, I ain't no champion, but look, I need to hold your belt. I know I said I ain't gonna do it, ask you again, but I look, she a bad bitch. And David's like, nah, bro, you a clown. You using my shit just to get, get some pussy. And he just gonna knock this motherfucker clean out. It's over. It's in Baltimore, Maryland, his hometown, on Showtime. He got the groupies going wild on Twitter. I can't wait to see Tank Davis. He gonna drop bombs on Ricardo Nunez. And he got the thugs. Yeah, my nigga about to do this shit. We gonna be front row, about to go, blase, you know what I'm saying? So he know he gotta show up, show out, put on a tremendous show. He is too athletic, too fast, too powerful, too accurate. He's gonna piece up this guy who is way, 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 way smaller than him. Anyway, I think he's coming up 1 or 2 divisions over his normal fighting weight. Mm-hmm. And with all that in account, man, I think he's gonna have a red moment. I mean, a Debo moment, and Nunez is gonna be red. You know what I'm saying? It's my bike, punk. It's my belt, punk. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it's gonna be, man. I just don't see a naturally smaller guy giving up so much physical, attributes, hand speed, the athleticism, the quickness, got the reflexes. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has the ring IQ to be able to, deal with Tank. And this is not to say Tank is an extremely intelligent fighter. It's just like you got to have some ring IQ. If you lack the athletic, you got to have. If you lack the athletic ability, you got to have a good fundamental base, a good jab, and a high ring IQ. You know what I'm saying? So you can set traps mentally, you know what I'm saying, to put your more physically inclined opponent out of their comfort zone. And I don't see that, man. I think Davis gonna get him out of here in 6 rounds. What's the round you picking to stoppage that come?
Ooh, I say, well, like I say 4 or 5, no later than 6.
Okay. Well, there it is, man. Me and my man Cheetah here got Gervonta Tank Davis defending his title via 5th or 6th round knockout. Hopefully after this he fight a motherfucker with a post, because I'm tired of seeing this motherfucker fight motherfucking piece of delivery man, sous chefs and janitors and shit. You know what I'm saying? But we finna go close this show out with the big dog, man. This is the filet mignon, the 5-star fight of the weekend, a unification fight in the junior welterweight division. You got Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker taking on Jose Ramirez, man. Hooker is the IBF junior welterweight champion, or no, he's the WBO junior welterweight champion, excuse me. And Ramirez is the WBC junior welterweight champion. What's your thoughts on this matchup, man? Who do you have winning this huge fight in Mo Hooker's hometown of Dallas, Texas?
Now this is the complete opposite of the last prediction, and it's just like, now this one is, this in my mind, this one is tight to me.
Yeah,
because they obviously they're not identical, but to me they match up very similarly in that, you know, they both tall, they both long, they both are kind of like, I don't want to say grinders, but, you know, they're going to wear you down for the most part. They don't mind getting in there, you know, fighting in the trenches. I think they do a lot of similar things. And so for that reason, I think that it's going to be a close fight. And honestly, the thing that's got me leaning toward Ramirez is not so much a skill thing or anything about them as a fighter, but it's the fact that this is a hometown fight for Maurice Hooker, and you know, in terms of like judging and things like that, I think being at the home is a big advantage. But if you have like a real important fight, or it's a lot on the line or something like that, and then you got to fight at home, I think that can go against you, especially if, like, you know, like Gervonta is about to fight at home, but I think that should be a comfortable fight. And so even if he have an uncomfortable moment or two, I think it'll be more easy for him to like shift back in and, you know, do some good, smart things to get in control. Whereas if Maurice Hooker start slipping behind in what to me is already going to be a much, much, much closer fight, then he might be inclined to, you know, do a little bit too much to feel like he got his get back. And so honestly, skill-wise, I think it's pretty even. Like I said, where they match up is pretty even. But I'm kind of leaning, and like I say, this is just this ain't the right word, but almost intuition, or, you know, some intangibles. Like the intangible of this being this meaningful of a home fight, something about it don't sound right. I don't something about it I don't like.
So what's your official prediction?
We'll see. Always go with I go Ramirez, man. I go Ramirez off of like I say, if Maurice loses, I fully expect to hear in this post-fight interview something to the effect of, I was trying to put on for the crowd. Yeah. And I didn't do this the way I didn't do what we said in the gym, or, you know, I knew I should have just stuck to my jab, but, you know, I was trying to put on for the crowd. And I really think that's going to be something that's going to be a big factor in this fight. Man,
I'm on the total opposite spectrum of this fight, man. And not in terms of it being competitive or not. I'm rolling with the upset. I like to pick the upset. And Ramirez is a good fighter, but I don't think he's nothing special. I don't think Hooker is nothing special. But I think Hooker has proven himself. Both guys have Zepeda, and for Ramirez, and he come through that Amir Mom who was trying to light him up early in that fight, first couple rounds. You know what I'm saying? I just like it's something about Hooker, man. He fight tall sometimes. I know his inside game is horrible, but I think when he got that win over Terry Flanagan back at whenever last year when he had to travel over to the UK, I think that done wonders for him. Like you said, he has a long reach, he has a solid jab, he got power when he sit down on his punches and turn them over. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Ramirez can be had. You know what I'm saying? But for Ramirez, you got to get him early. You got to take his confidence early because he's a fighter that gets stronger as the fight wears on. Ask Amir Mom, ask Jose Zepeda, ask all these other guys that he's been in the ring with. But I think that the hometown is actually going to be beneficial for Hooker. It's going to give him that extra confidence, that extra energy when the fight get tough. I think that him coming off of the canvas when he fought Alex Acedo, when he had to travel to the Challengers backyard in Oklahoma City. You know what I'm saying? He got off he didn't get off the canvas, but it was a tough fight, and he put my man down a couple times and stopped him. I think that he's going to do enough to win a clear but close, non-controversial decision. But Ramirez is going to be tough as hell. I wouldn't be surprised if Ramirez outboxed him and won his fight clearly. You know what I'm saying? Because he possesses that skill. You know what I'm saying? He has solid power. I think that it's going to be, a battle of two tall junior welterweights who's looking to, get one step closer to becoming an undisputed. And I can't wait for the winner of these matchups to face each other. The winner of Hooker Ramirez to fight the winner of Prograis versus Taylor for the undisputed type, junior welterweight title in 2021. So we shall see, man. But yeah, I think that Maurice Hooker's going to win a close but clear split decision. Kind of similar to how Manny Pacquiao, did, probably minus the damn knockout and knockdown and shit, but it'll be a good fight, man. So, hey, we about to wrap this show up, man. We try to keep you an hour and a half. Sometimes we might go over, but hey, we enjoyed tonight. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed our input, our take on stuff, the latest boxing news and information. From the sport. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Turn that notification bell on to be notified every time I upload content, every time we go live. Drop your comments in the comment section down below. Most importantly, be sure to check out 3kingsboxing.com daily for your latest and greatest updated, unfiltered, and unbiased boxing news and information reported the way it should be. Follow the Twitter, Instagram at 3 Kings Boxing. Make sure you follow the Facebook page as well, 3 Kings, Boxing. And until next time, me and my man Cheetah Head are out. Peace.